Justice organizations are pushing back on a bill that would recriminalize the possession of small amounts of hard drugs. They say the punishment could harm certain communities. Now, Fox 12's Carly Olson joins us live this evening with those details. Carly?
Under House Bill 4002, the Washington County Sheriff's Office, as well as other law enforcement offices, would find themselves in charge of choosing between treatment and jail time for low-level drug offenders. And some people believe that putting that power in their hands would open the door to discrimination and filled-up jails.
With House Bill 4002-24, the Oregon legislature is proposing to step backwards.
For the ACLU of Oregon and other social justice groups, a main concern is deflection programs. If House Bill 4002 passes, it would give law enforcement officers the authority over whether to send someone into a program in which users can access opportunities for treatment or to jail for up to 6 months. Some say giving law enforcement the power to make that choice will only be harmful to people of color.
People with money, connections, or racial privilege will be more likely to get into the very limited treatment spaces in Oregon. Black, brown, low-income, and disabled people will continue to be jailed at the highest rates.
The bill would also not require counties to set up those deflection programs, meaning some counties could have better opportunities than others.
That's why we have to make sure that the counties are properly funded.
House Republican leader Jeff Helfrich says he wants to see Measure 110 pulled back entirely, and he's heard from many constituents who feel the same. But for the time being, he trusts law enforcement officers to make the right call when it comes to deflection programs.
So when I hear the ACLU talking about that, I'm not buying into that. I'm not buying into their narrative. I think that's false. We need to have that discretion to do that instead of just everybody going to jail. We don't want that. We're going to overload the system. But for the cases where people need to go get the motivation and to get the accountability through the criminal justice system, to get help, we need to have those tools to do that. And I trust our officers in doing that.
But the ACLU feels recriminalization can only lead to a drain on state resources and more people behind bars.
Lawmakers are making many false promises. This bill will likely send thousands of people to jail for the low-level, victimless crime of possessing a very small amount of a banned substance for personal use.
The Committee on Addiction and Community Safety Response started a meeting at 5 this evening to collect public comment on the bill, and they will also continue discussions on Wednesday evening as well. Reporting live in Washington County, Carly Olson, Fox 12 Oregon.
Thank you, Carly.